Imagine if jail and prison could help people like them. Just imagine it, squirrel. Think there'd be less repeated offenders? Where'd that other squirrel go? There you are. Hello, squirrel. Or how about the people that take it amongst themselves to take themselves out of the picture? I bet there'd be less people deciding to end it so quickly in there. You know, if they had resources to help. Real help. But having things as they are now? Chili Con Man truly don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Where did you go, squirrel? There was a gray squirrel. Oh, did I see a shadow? God damn it. Where did he go? Maybe Stripes scared him. God damn it. There he goes. Unless it was you. Oh, you made me drop it, silly. Here. Oh, I guess he found it. Oh, hello, squirrel. Do you know Chili Con Man? Oh, silly chili. Sweetie. Chili cheese dog. Delete balls. Chili Maria. Chili Con artist. Jose Muno. Sally Jesse Raphael. It really doesn't matter what you call that guy. That dude's just straight up wrong. That's what he's up to now. I just want to add my sense about an opinion of his. Yeah. Let me show you what he looks like. Just to remind you. No, this is... Ow! You jerk! I'm talking about aside from the racism, squirrel. Okay? I don't care if you're a black squirrel or a gray squirrel. To me, you're a squirrel all the same. People don't see people the same way for some reason. I mean, not all people feel that way, of course. But Chili ain't one of those people. I'll give you a little reminder. That's Chili. And Chili thinks that we should do away with jails. Just do away with the jails. That's what Chili thinks. He says, no more jails, no more prisons. That's what Chili says. And he doesn't want the cops to be armed either. But then what did they do with the people who make victims out of us? What about the people who hurt me all those years? And imagine if prison actually helped people. You are right about one thing, though, Chili. The prisons are ugly. They're not like a dungeon, though, of course. I don't see how he could be against a new jail being built. It's not like it's another jail for them to just lock up extra people. You see, Squirrel, he seems to think there's bodies stacked on top of bodies in there. And while that's not the case, that's not to say they ain't running out of room up in there, because they are. It's a tight squeeze. And that's in pretty much all of them. Hey, there you go. Let me show you what I mean, Squirrel. Here is a typical Thanksgiving in a typical jail. And look at all the beds around there. You see that? So close. Look at that mat right there. So close to the tables. Oh, you poor souls. You know, I know, Squirrel, you're right. It's not the Holiday Inn. They're not there for, pleasure. They're there for punishment. But still, it could still be made safe and more comfortable. They need new cameras and everything, too. Just look at that shit that went down with Epstein. They tried to blame broken cameras, didn't they? I sped this footage up. Let me show you something, Squirrel. Alright, Squirrel. Here goes. Okay?
It's our Thanksgiving meals now. Oh, the best one I've ever had in my life. The best one. Today is Thanksgiving. We get turkey today for lunch. Hey, y'all have turkey. They have turkey and dressing and green beans.
That's only for Thanksgiving, no.
Definitely the most food.
They don't feed them like that all the time. They'll get that sandwich for lunch in a city jail. And that's it.
So my biggest thing today is to focus on the food that I have in front of me. Because if you don't learn how to compartmentalize and keep yourself from thinking about certain things, you don't survive. I ate the whole turkey.
How did you rate your Thanksgiving meal here?
My grandma makes some good sweet potato pie, but
Because there is a squirrel. No?
I'm going to miss Thanksgiving with my grandmother. I'm not going to get none of my grandma's cooking or be at anybody's house.
Look, you see how that needs to be repainted everywhere? No, take note of around them, how they're living in there. It's terrible. Oh, she left out little Thanksgiving notes. Sweet. Look at how it's a mess. It's like not... Look at the floor and everything.
Wake up with something positive to read.
It was just really sweet things. It said, Happy Thanksgiving. She just wanted to help everyone feel at home.
And I want to give you a broken omen, silly.
We went around to talk about things that we're thankful for.
Here we go.
These are the things that happen at home every year. You know, my wife and my daughter say, okay, we'll go around and talk about, name a few things that you're thankful for, and the family goes around and does that. So, I didn't expect that.
Wow! Jesus! You big
It is my first holiday ever not being with my family and without my kids, so it's been really emotional for me. But I have family here. I'm so thankful for you. Have a Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful for these girls and to be a part of their life and then to be a part of my life. And we're learning so much from each other and we're taking so much away from this. And I'm really blessed to be with these girls. I'm so close to them. It's really special to me. I'm really blessed to have them. They mean a lot to me. They do.
Doesn't her comfort matter?
I feel like I have gotten to know these women. I appreciate that, but I'm not here to make any lifelong friends. I feel like I was here to do a job.
I lost that on me.
And that is to get some useful information for the sheriff.
Alright, Squirrel, let me show you another one. Uh-oh. Who's first? Hey. You guys. You better chill. Who's next? You're next. Okay. You guys are gonna make me run out of time. I gotta stop feeding you.
But I knew it wasn't gonna happen. The last time Sally Schultz saw her 34-year-old son Billy, he laid motionless in a hospital bed, kept alive by a ventilator. Doctors saw no signs for hope. Billy was working so hard to clean himself up, and I was working so hard to help him. After 10 days in the
Look
hospital,
what
she made the
happened
decision to let her
here.
son die. The hardest part, she says, is knowing he didn't have to.
You don't go to jail to get killed. That happened down here. You're supposed to be safe in jail.
Billy Adams is one of an alarming number of men that have died by their own hand inside Wayne County's old and understaffed jails in just over a year.
Lots of people spend time in jail and prison, and those are not supposed to be death sentences.
Margot Schlanger is a law professor at the University of Michigan and an expert in jail and prison reforms. Most of the inmates in county jails are only accused of a crime they haven't yet gone to trial. But regardless of whether they're guilty, jails are required
Look
by
at
law
how
to keep
ugly
inmates
it
safe
is.
while they're in the county's custody.
Incarceration is supposed to have consequences, but not that kind of consequence.
Statistically, all jail inmates are at a greater risk of suicide than the general population.
Look how
but the numbers
ugly
in
it
Wayne County
is.
are off the charts. Since April of last year, the Macomb County Jail reported 1 suicide. In Oakland County, there were
One.
none. But in Wayne County, 8 inmates have died by
8.
suicide in just over a year.
I think any loss of life is terrible.
Keep
This
listening.
is Wayne County's undersheriff.
This jail has way more suicides than any I've been able to find in the entire state of Michigan, including prison. Okay, what's going on here? We house a different population than they do.
But we looked at 2 of the largest jails in the country that manage some of the most dangerous inmates there are. Cook County, Illinois, and Rikers Island in New York City both house dramatically more inmates than Wayne County. Both reported 0 suicides. St. Louis
0.
and Wayne
Look
County
at
saw 8.
that.
These people are people that have decided to take their own life. It's unfortunate.
So,
And I'm just responding to that. And I think if
what
you
do
look
you
at the raw
blame?
numbers, we do very well.
That's very, very, very high. That should be
Yes.
like ringing alarm bells all over.
Judge
Yes.
Tim Kenny agrees. He oversees the county jail through a consent order.
It's unacceptably large. The jails are constructed in such a way that it makes it difficult for sheriff's staff to be able to monitor inmates.
Just how closely were deputies monitoring Donnell Pryor? He was brought to the jail for a probation violation last year. While going through jail registry, officers said he became verbally aggressive and loud, so they moved him to a cell by himself. But as jail records show, deputies didn't take any items away from Pryor, including his belt. While alone and unwatched in a private cell, he used it to hang himself. Faunus told us that after that incident, the jail required that all belts be removed before an inmate is brought through the jail registry. But is the jail even following its own policy? While we were here touring the jail for this story, we watched as an inmate that had just moved through jail registry still wore a belt around his waist. We pointed it out to the undersheriff, who wouldn't let us take a picture, but he did take the inmate's belt. 3 of the inmates who died were receiving mental health treatment, and at least 1 was supposed to be closely monitored. Sally Schultz's son, Billy. Deputies took his clothes and gave him a suicide-proof gown made of paper, standard protocol for an inmate at risk of suicide.
If I was responsible for putting a person in a paper gown, it would be most appropriate to take everything away from them that could be used, including socks. Yes.
But for some reason, deputies didn't take Adam's socks, and while he was supposed to be watched more closely, he turned them into a noose and hung himself.
On a mental ward, aren't you supposed to have?
Adams wasn't in jail for a violent offense, but most of the inmates who took their lives were. Regardless of whether they're guilty, if the county fails to keep them safe, it can and does pay for it with your tax dollars. In just the last 5 years, 4 suicides have cost the county more than $1 million in settlements.
$1 million can pay for a lot of suicide-resistant measures. But I think more important than the money is the fact that we have people who are dead who didn't have to be dead.
Billy Adams' mom says her son
alright, Squirrel, I'll probably have to cut the beginning off of this. I got something to show you as I say my goodbyes. Good. You gotta hang it up. Quit climbing my door. Quit. And click the like button if you like squirrels. And click the subscribe button if you want to see more.
Turning that trend
Squirrels.
around. Thanks for staying with us tonight at 5:30. I'm Andrew Kinsey.
And I'm
I might have it up too
County
quick.
commissioners approved $360 million to be spent on building a new jail. It focuses on getting inmates the services they need so that they don't
Hopefully
reoffend.
you can
In an exclusive story,
understand
Franklin
that.
County Sheriff Alice Baldwin gave 10 TV's Lacey Crisp a tour of the new jail.
The new Franklin County
Check
Jail is
this
built in a
out.
way where leaders hope the inmates will get the services they need so they never return.
That's the goal. We don't want them coming back. I mean, we want to treat them very, very decent, the best way we can while
Yeah,
they're here. But
look
we
at
want to make
this.
sure that they get the treatment they need.
Franklin County Sheriff Dallas Baldwin explains building a new jail wasn't just about space. It's about a better way to treat inmates as they either prepare for court or to be sent off to prison.
Anything that the inmate might need when they come in here, we want to make sure that they get set the right direction. So they get treatment here, they get treatment when they leave, and hopefully they don't come back.
The old jail is built with long hallways of cells. The new jail is open so guards can see inmates at all times.
We're not only changing the way our building is designed, we're changing how we operate.
There are also rooms within pods where the county can offer services like medical needs or addiction services. That gives jail staff more flexibility and safety because the services go to the inmates instead of the inmates having to be moved from within the jail.
We know one thing is for sure consistently. They're in crisis mode, and those people need access to resources and people that can help guide them and navigate them through the system.
75% of inmates are released within 3 days, and most are released back into the community. Franklin County Sheriff Chief Deputy Jeff Stobart argues it's better not only for the inmate, but for the county to get those who are incarcerated the help they need so they don't return.
We want to do everything in our power to try to help those folks to break that cycle, to keep those folks from cycling through the doors of our jail. It's, quite frankly, a more fiscally responsible option.
There's a pod that specializes in treating those who are going through withdrawal, especially for the ongoing opioid epidemic. There are services brought into the space, more restrooms, showers, and the beds are closer to the ground.
These folks, continue to cycle through the doors of our jail. We want to do everything we can while we have them to hopefully get them connected to services, get them connected to treatment, particularly medication-assisted treatment, which we're now offering.
Years in planning, every decision put into the facility designed to prevent a return for the inmates.
It's also a way of protecting the public. It's also a way of making sure that we're doing everything I can because most of the people that come to those doors will be back outside of those doors.
And they'll start housing inmates in the new jail next spring. In Columbus, Lacey Crisp, 10
Nice. So there you have it, Squirrel. Chili's a fucking moron. I think they said it was in Ironton, Ohio, talking about building a new jail. Build it. Don't let Chili stop you guys. Build it. And be safer and more beneficial to everyone involved. Did you see that little toss-up he just did?